100 years after the world ended, the earth was still on fire. Not metaphorically, literally. The sky glowed permanent red from the heat rising out of the planet's open wounds. The oceans were gone, boiled into memory. Continents had collapsed inward like cracked plates, swallowed by magma seas. Every volcano on the planet, undersea, mountain, buried, had erupted at once when the titanic plates beneath the crust had shifted and shattered. It was not an apocalypse, it was a planetary meltdown. People called it the world god's death. Earth had once been worshipped as a living system, and it had finally, violently died. Only a few fragments of land survived, floating plates of cold crust, hovering over oceans of lava like black rafts in a glowing hell. These were the only places humans could still live, and they were running out of time. Sammy Vale watched the lava rivers slide past the train windows, glowing like liquid suns. The heat-resistant glass shimmered faintly as magma waves crashed against the steel rails, suspended over nothing. He swallowed. "This thing ever fall in?" he asked. "No," said Jax, his seatmate. "Well, not often." Sammy did not feel reassured. The lava rail was the only way to reach the volcano zones. It moved along magnetic tracks, anchored deep into the crust, passing straight through lava storms, magma cyclones, and the glowing storms of molten ash that never stopped swirling. Above the door, the red sign blinked. Fiju Volcano, Core Zone, 18 minutes. Sammy wiped his palms on his heat suit. It was his first real mission, and statically, probably his last. "Relax," Jack said, adjusting his respirator mask. "You look like you're about to throw up inside your own oxygen tube." "I might," Sammy replied. "That's a valid emotional response in imminent death." Jack snored. "Fair." Across from them sat Dr. Cale Rails, the mission supervisor. He was older, his skin slightly silvered from long-term radiation exposure, his eyes sharp behind polarized goggles. "Less joking," Dr. Ray said. "More mental focus." "Yes, sir," Sammy said. Dr. Ray studied him for a moment. "You are Carl Vale's son." Sammy stiffened. "Yes, sir." Carl Vale had been a legend, a lava dweller who went too deep into Fiju's core to retrieve magnimasic. He had saved Biohome's power grid and died inside the magma chamber when his heat shield ruptured. They never even recovered his body. "You don't have to be him," Dr. Ray said quietly. "You just have to survive." Sammy nodded. That was the hardest part. 50 years ago, the last survivors of humanity had returned from space. They had once lived on orbital colonies depending entirely on Earth's resources. But when the planet died, those colonies slowly starved. The ships could not produce enough oxygen, water, or biological materials without Earth. So they came back and found hell. That was when Dr. Monica Carlos changed everything. She had been one of the scientists who survived space, brilliant, stubborn, and very difficult to argue with. She had led the constructions of Biohome, a massive underground survival complex built into the last stable rock on Earth. Biohome was a miracle. It used living walls, bioengineered oxygen plants, self-healing structures, and artificial ecosystems to keep humanity alive. But it had one fatal weakness. It needed power, not electricity, not fusion, magnimasic, a rare hyperreactive mineral that existed only in the deepest magma chambers of Earth's core. It generated infinite thermal energy when stabilized, but it could only be found inside active volcanoes, especially Fiju. And the only people who could retrieve it were the lava dwellers. Lava dwellers were not normal humans. They were trained from childhood, their bodies genetically reinforced with heat-resistant proteins, chemical stable blood cells, and enhanced lung filters. They could withstand toxic gases, extreme pressure, and temperatures that would kill ordinary people in seconds. Still, only 2 out of every 10 survived the Fiju dive. Sammy had known this his whole life. His father had died doing it. And now, Sammy was doing it too. The train slowed. A metallic voice announced, arriving at Fiju access platform. Outside the window, the volcano rose like a burning god. Its walls glowing orange and black, magma spilling down its sides like veins of fire. Sammy's heart pounded. Jax leaned closer. So, if you die, can I have your boots? Only if you die first, Sammy replied. Deal. The doors opened. Heat blasted inside like a living thing. Dr. Ray stood, mask on, tethers ready. Sammy clipped his magnetic line to his belt. If he slipped inside the lava chamber, the tether was the only thing that might pull him back out. Might. They stepped onto the platform. The air shimmered with heat distortion. Rivers of lava flowed beneath the metal walkway, bubbling and cracking as gas pockets exploded. Beautiful, Jax muttered, in a very murdery way. Dr. Reyes led them forward. We have 6 minutes before the next magma surge, so move. They entered the volcano. Inside Fiju, the world turned into fire. The tunnel walls were living rock, glowing from heat behind them. Every breath tasted like metal and sulfur. Sammy's suit sensors beeped slowly. Temperature 920 Celsius. Oxygen stable. Core proximity increasing. Carlos would have loved this place, Jack said. Dr. Reyes gave him a look, meaning focus. They reached the main chamber. It was enormous. A cathedral of magma. Lava waterfalls poured from ceiling into a glowing lake below. Floating inside the lava were crystal-like growths, pulsing with light. Magnimasic. There, Dr. Ray said, that cluster. Sammy's chest tightened. It was beautiful and deadly. Well, Dr. Ray said. You're up. Sammy stepped forward. Jax grabbed his arm. Hey, he said quietly. Come back alive, yeah? Sammy nodded. I'll try. He clipped his tether to an anchor point, took a deep breath, and stepped forward the edge of the lava. The heat hit him like a wall, and he jumped. Sammy's boots hit the lava and didn't melt. The heat shield activated instantly, flooding his suits with a cooling field that turned the magma beneath him into a slow, glowing gel. It still burned. He could feel the pressure of it pushing against his boots like walking on boiling syrup, but it held. Contact mate, Sammy said to his mic, his voice shaking. I'm standing on it. Good, Dr. Reyes replied. Move fast. The platform will destabilize in 40 seconds. Of course it will, Sammy muttered. He ran. Each step sent waves of glowing magma rippling outward. Lava splashed up around his legs, striking his shield and vaporizing into clouds of steam and toxic gas. In front of him, the magnimasic cluster pulsed like a living heart, floating just above the lava lake, held in place by the planet's magnetic field. Sammy aimed his magnetic harpoon. "Sammy," Jack said over comms, "you missed this shot, and I'm absolutely hunting you." "That's comforting," Sammy replied. He fired. The harpoon shot through the air, slammed into the magnimasic crystal, and locked with the high-pitched whine. The entire cluster vibrated. "Oh no," Sammy said. The lava around him surged. "Thermal instability detected," Dr. Race warned. "You triggered a magma shift." "You don't say." The lava lake began to rise. Sammy pulled on the cable with all his strength. The magnimasic resisted, still partially fused to the magma flow. His suit alarms started screaming. "Sammy," Jax yelled, "your shield is speaking." "I know," Sammy shouted back, bracing himself as lava splashed up to his knees. He thought of his father, of Carl Vale, walking into the same fire, knowing he might never come back. "Not today," Sammy growled. He activated the suit's core drill. The glowing blade compressed plasma blast from his fist and sliced into the magnimasic's base. The crystal screamed, a sound like metal tearing through glass, and finally snapped free. The cable yanked tight, and Sammy was lifted off the lava, spinning as the cluster was pulled toward the extraction crane. Then the volcano roared. The entire chamber shook. "Fiju is going into eruption mode," Dr. Race shouted. "We've got a full magma surge coming through." The ceiling cracked. Lava poured down in fiery waterfalls. "Sammy, move!" Jax yelled. Sammy slammed his boots together, activating his thrusters, and blasted upward to the platform as molten rock exploded behind him. A shockwave hit him mid-air. His thrusters snapped. Sammy screamed as he was flung toward the lava lake, spinning out of control. "Sammy!" Jack shouted. He slammed into the magma. The shield flared, then flickered. "Shield failure at 20%, Sammy gasped. "I'm going under." He sank, the lava pulling him down like quicksand made of fire. His vision blurred. His father had died like this. No. Sammy clenched his fist. "Override suit limits," he yelled. The suit protested, then obeyed. A burst of raw energy exploded from his thrusters, blasting him upward. He broke through the lava surface, smoke pouring off suit as Jack's sister snapped onto him. "I've got you," Jack shouted, holding him in. Sammy collapsed on the platform, coughing. His suit scratched back. Dr. Race grabbed him. "You did it." Behind them, the magnimasic cluster was secured inside the containment unit, glowing with stable energy. Fiju continued to erupt, lava blasting out in waves. "Time to go," Jax yelled. They ran. The tunnel shook as molten rock crashed against the walls. The lava rail was already pulling in, heat shields flaring. They leapt inside just as the platform was swallowed by fire. The door slammed shut. Everyone breathed. Sammy lay on the floor, staring at the ceiling. "I hate volcanoes," he said weakly. Jax laughed. "Yeah, they're not great." The power grids flared back to life. Lights filled the massive underground city. Oxygen plants glowed green. Water flowed again. Humanity breathed easier. Dr. Monica Carlos herself stood beside Sammy in the medical wing, watching the magnimasic reactor stabilize. "You saved everyone," she said. Sammy surged from his hospital bed. "I just didn't want to die." She smiled. "Sometimes that's enough." Dr. Reyes entered. "Well, you're officially promoted." "To what?" Sammy asked. "Captain Magnimus." Sammy groaned. "That sounds like more dying." Jax leaned in from the doorway. "Hello, hero. Your boots are still safe." Sammy laughed for the first time since Fiju. Outside the bunker, the world still burned. But inside Biohome, the humanity survived. Because one kid had walked into fire and come back alive.